It's your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go, and go, and go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the going crazy like a dum-dum. Eastside homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hitting, no red wrong. This is O City. On the way to the bay, hit the bass for me. Catch a case cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it out. Turn the volume up loud. Get your drum crowd. Make it all shout, go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the friends. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy.
That's my jam. That's my whole jam. I like that part from the city. I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. Give me a reason to show the bop any day and I'm good. All right. So you guys know what time it is. It is 8:05 on this beautiful Tuesday. And it is time for the Scoop Radio Show. I am Keela Willis, and I am joined by two amazing co-hosts that we are going to intro in a moment because last week I messed it up and did it too soon and caught us all off guard. So I'm going to continue on with sharing a little bit about why you are here and what we would like for you to do while you are chilling with us this evening. As you can see, we are an interactive show. We invite you to comment and share this live. When you do that, please, I know that Wynn has shared, Kels has shared, and I've shared this live like 11 times today. So you could be watching any number of shares. What we need you to do is comment, like, and share on the live titled The Scoop Radio Show. That is the main radio show live post, and that is where your comments will be seen first and able to share on the live stream. So please make sure you are following the Scoop Radio Show so that we can talk with you in real time and your comments can be shared on live. Tonight, if Winfred happens to bless us with the poll on your live feed where you normally see your little emoji con, little smiley face, that's going to switch. You're going to see a little an option for, looks like a little bar graph, a little button. You push that button, it's going to show you the question, and you're going to have your options to select from. That is how you participate in our poll. Okay? Super easy, and we hope that you enjoy that part of the show. So again, comment, react, share, and get involved in this this conversation we've got. We've got some news. We've got a really juicy topic, a really juicy hot topic that we are excited about. And we've got Mother Maylee gracing us on this evening. So it's going to be a good show. A really, really good show. So now it's time for the intros. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my girl, Kels. How are you this Tuesday?
I am good. I'm good. Trying to make it. There's no storms going on for once in Oklahoma. So
yes. They're trying to put us back on the arc around these parts.
I know. I'm like, yeah.
We waiting in the water and no. Right. Yeah. So I'm thankful for a dry day. We started out a little rainy, but it cleared up. We got some sun and we're good now. Yeah, we're good. Wynn, how you doing?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Very glad for this good show that we got tonight. So I'm excited. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am good. I'm good. It's been a whirlwind day at the workplace, but your girl made it. I'm here. I'm relaxed. This was what I was looking forward to be honest. So yeah, I'm in a real happy place right now.
That's what's up.
Thank you for asking. But now I'm good. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done talking. Let's get on to this news. We got good news tonight.
We do. We got some good news. Really good news. So first up, oh Lord. First up in the news, what we want to do first. Let's go ahead and get into it. What's probably not, we don't want to do that one yet. What's probably the most of what's been buzzing around the most, of course, this weekend is Ava DuVernay. Excuse me if I said her name wrong. Her most recent Netflix release called When They See Us. First of all, before we get in this, did y'all both see this? Did either of y'all see this?
I started watching one episode this evening and had to stop eating. I was literally sick. So I was like, I gotta stop. It just took my energy that quick. Like
Yeah. It
I'm like, get this demon.
Yeah. I haven't been able to. I think I might after everyone stopped watching it because the conversations surrounding it are intense. And that mixed with watching it, I don't know if I can handle all of it at the same time. I need to digest that slowly. Those types of things sit with me a little longer than some, I've realized. So that's one that I'm going to take my sweet time watching. It's on Netflix. I got time.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Let me. It's you definitely want to watch it. You definitely have to be. It's one of them shows. One of those those shows, document whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called, that you definitely don't want to be outside a whole lot when you watch it. Because yeah. But anyway, so BET wrote an article about it, talking about the Jarrell Jerome who portrayed Corey Weiss. And he said that in doing this, it says he has not healed yet. He's still trying to heal. So the article reads that When They See Us is an emotional and anger-inducing account of the tragic events of 1989 in New York City, where a female jogger was left for dead after being brutally raped and beaten in Central Park. 5 young Black and Latino men were framed and convicted for the crime, but were exonerated years later when the actual perpetrator confessed to the grisly attack. 4-part series directed by Ava DuVernay tells the story of Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salim, Raymond Santana, and Corey Weiss, the 5 men dubbed the Central Park 5. So he goes on to talk about how difficult this was for them to portray these 5 men, and how even, I'm not sure if this story or another one, talked about how they even had to have grief counselors on set. Because this was such a difficult story for them. So they talked about, how they cried, how they, how even the 5 young men, or the 5 men who were part of the Central Park 5 said that this is not something that you should, that they don't want this story to be told for people to feel sorry for them, but to celebrate the outcome of it. But if you watched it, you went through every piece of emotion that you could possibly go through watching it. So I'm gonna stop there and tell me, what y'all think. I'm gonna stop there.
I saw some interesting posts today, and I know 2 particular ones talked about, how everybody's asking all of the Black people, have you seen it? But have you asked any of your white friends, have they seen it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to make it a point to ask my close white friends, have you seen it and are you going to watch it? Because one lady really, it really made me think, because one of her comments or the caption, she was like, this is a horror film for us. And she made a joke about, I need to go watch something light and happy. And she's like, I'll go watch about werewolves and devils and vampires, and that'll be more light than us watching this. And when I started watching it this evening, I was like, Woo, yeah, I had to stop. I mean, I just couldn't believe I got sick to my stomach just thinking about it. I was that angry and upset, and you know, I hope it changes some viewpoints in cultures besides ours, because we know it.
We know, right? Yeah,
we know.
Yeah. That's what James and I were talking about. I said, you know, I'm already having a male son. Adrian is 16 and does not look 16. You know, he's a larger 16-year-old son, and I'm already very protective of him. Mm-hmm. I give him more freedom than I had, because I know what that, you know, I know the flip of that. So he has more freedom to do things, but I know that even though I know the outcome of this story and all, you know, the details and all of that, watching that and watching the mother portrayed and those boys seeing them in that moment, because in '89 I was in kindergarten. Like, mm-hmm. I'm not familiar. I found out through it as I've gotten older, but this doesn't resonate with me on I remember my grandmother watching this on TV type of thing. I don't have those memories of this story. But I think if I were to put myself in the position of the mothers, you know what I'm saying, and see these young men portraying it, like, I don't know if Adrian would have that freedom that way again. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the conversations, we have the rights conversations and how you behave in those situations and all that. We've covered those things. We do the scenarios and all of that. But to see that and to then put my baby's face on one of those babies' faces, like, that makes me teary-eyed thinking of that. So, yeah.
And then I know, coming from but I forgot to say, coming from a predominantly white town, like, one of my good friends growing up, her brother was dating a white girl.
Yeah.
They were dating secretly, found out he was only in high school. You know, we never saw him again.
Wow. Some more real get out type stuff.
He went to jail. We never saw him again. And I remember like it was yesterday. And I was we were in elementary, 7 or 8. So to this day, I never saw him again. Never saw that guy again. So it's so real. But I really hope that some people who don't know this story.
Yeah, I think so. So y'all haven't seen it, so I don't want to tell too much. But I think I went from being angry at the police and the system to being angry at to the father, to being angry at the parents, to being angry at the police again, to being angry at the lawyers, to being angry at this country, to then being angry at Donald Trump, to being angry at like I was just angry at everything, everybody that I could imagine. Not so much because I know this is true.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And 2, because I also know that this is still happening. And 3, because we're also still seeing things like, you know, even in Illinois, that with the passing of marijuana, there are still people who are in prison for things that now, because this is beneficial for certain people, they're no longer, you know, they don't. And I'm just going to say, okay, so now that white kids are all of a sudden getting arrested a whole lot with weed, and we want to make money off of marijuana, all of a sudden this is something we should make legal. Meanwhile, you've got the war on drugs, which killed many hundreds of thousands of Black families that now we're going to have to go back and they're not going to repair. Nope. So they just going to let,
now we're redirecting all of our resources to the opioid crisis.
Yeah, so it's like, it's just, and then as a father to have to still have these conversations, you're a Black kid, so things are different for you type conversations with my own son just does not, you know, it just made me just furiously angry at our system. So yeah, it was rough watching it. I'll be completely honest. It was absolutely rough for me to watch it. Let me go to these comments that we got, and then we'll go. What's she saying?
The next.
There we go. Oh, okay. I'm trying to find out where they start. Yeah. So Tay says even the actors are having a hard time with it. Yeah, that's what the article talks about. With where they still have not recovered. So Halima says it gave her a migraine. Yeah. Yeah, and then Tay says, but we're crazy for making this stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are the only culture, as she said, as Halima said, we're the only culture who has to talk to their children about what to do in a police station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what to do if you get stopped. What happens if you meet a police officer? How do you respond? I was telling somebody earlier today, recently my son saw some police officers and ran up to them. And when he did it, I froze. I froze. He was fine, but I froze because, he doesn't understand why or anything. He just thinks they're police officers. They're great people. He got into a situation and the police helped him. That's all he knows. He don't know, but the reality is I have to have this conversation. Son, you are, so it's you're a black boy.
My kids used to duck when they saw police officers driving past the car. Like they would lay flat in the back seat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those types of things, like up until 3 or 4 years ago, they just finally stopped doing that. I had to tell them, why are y'all stop? What? And I know why. There's an experience that they've been through when they were younger, much younger, that caused that reaction. But they weren't, it wasn't like an experience that they were actually touched or done. They were just around a situation that made them fearful for a long time after that. They were little bitty kids then. You know what I'm saying? So I think, we and their other friends don't have those experiences. The other friends run up to that is exactly how they had. And my kids are like, what up?
So I say if you haven't watched it. And last comment, I'm about to move. I'm gonna move on, I promise. Listen, to all you woke people, and especially I've been holding this in, for all you woke people who want to say stuff like, I can't believe y'all just getting mad now. Shut the hell up. Really? Y'all really want to now start telling people when to feel
anything?
Upset? Okay, we understand this happened several years ago. We understand that. We get that. But however, if people are just now, be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Be quiet. Seriously, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. So,
access says a lot because the last time this was covered, I think was 2020. On 2020, a few years ago, I think Dre mentioned. But how many of the average, even woke folks, watch 2020 on a regular basis to even have caught that? You know, so this is
everywhere. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's so what? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Shut up. You just as bad as the church people who you supposedly got a problem with. Being judgmental, you'll judge me. I almost cussed her, and they told we can't cuss. Facebook told us we can't cuss, y'all. Sorry. All right, next. I'm gonna move on for Facebook coming to get on me again. All right, next story. So I asked this question a couple of days ago, and people didn't respond. I purposely didn't put any gender or anything about it. But I asked the question on my page about if the next person who, if somebody was for reparations, was for free education, and something else. I said, would we vote for him? Mm-hmm. And for the most part, people said yes. The reason I asked that question is because, for the most part, this is pretty much what Elizabeth Warren is talking about. So this article says that on Monday, Senator Elizabeth Warren proposed eliminating student loan debt of tens of millions of Americans and making all public college tuition free, staking out an ambitious stance on one of the central policy debates of the 2020 Democratic primary. What she wants to do is she wants to forgive $50,000 in student loans for Americans in households earning less than $100,000 a year. According to the analysis provided by her campaign, that would provide an immediate relief to more than 95% of the 45 million Americans with student loan debts. So she also says that the revenue from this would come from her tax on the wealth, where she wants to apply a 2% tax on all wealth above $50 million and 3% on all wealth above $1 billion. So she also says that she wants to she also wants to address what was the other one?
The Pell Grants.
Increase Pell Grants, and something else in here. But yeah, so Kels, since I know this your area, what you think?
Yeah, I'm all for it. And the plans for increasing Pell Grants, actually, it did jump up the most it ever had when Obama was in office. So he had already offered an extensive plan to increase Pell Grants so much every year until it got to where it could cover tuition and fees at most public institutions. I've been a fan of the free education, definitely wiping the debt. I think it's just gotten so much out of control. People are struggling anyway. They're not going to pay. And I think it would definitely, help the economy because that money can go back in because people are just getting further and further in debt and they're struggling. We know income tax time, a lot of people get ahead during income tax time. Like that's when they get ahead for the year. That's getting taken. So a lot of people can't even, get footing to have a decent life. But I've done my own research on the free education, and I'm still trying to figure out how do these other countries pay for it. Countries who offer free education. Even now, some of them are charging their out of country students, and it's still not equaling to more than $1,700 a year.
Wow.
In those countries. And so, working in the industry, I'm like, okay, if we did go to that system, how would the government subsidize? Private institutions would probably have to, they would have to get their donors up or close. But I mean, I am a supporter of it.
I think what you just said is big. Is those private institutions they would. I think for the public one, that's all they really care about. Is they're caring about the public. The other part the article talks about is that they would provide grants they would try to provide grants for a matching grant for states who decided to offer a free tuition program. So it wouldn't all be a federal program. Some of this would be state. So then that would most likely mean that there would be an increase in tax on someplace on the state and city level because they have to pay for it somehow. Q, what you think?
I love the idea. And I think that it's worth discussing how we're going to pay for it. Because overall, our priorities, I think, have shifted away from the foundation of this country. We have gotten so overwhelmed by all the other stuff, and it's not less important, but long term, I think these problems are going to be minuscule if we don't educate our children. And all of the stuff that we talk about, all these dreams, all these hopes and aspirations for the future are null and void if we can't read. we can't code the machines that we're making everything automated. And there's a select few of people who naturally come out of the womb ready to kick in and learn how to code. You know what I mean? That you've got to be able to provide the spaces to do that. And I don't think we're setting our country up for that. So I'm totally here for the idea of this. I do want to see, I'd like to know more about the financial part of it, just because reality has to happen at some point. Based on what you're saying, it sounds really, really good. And I think of all of the plans that we know are bubblegum and wishes and dreams that we hear during campaign season. I think because this issue specifically touches so many of us, regardless of how you vote. Even if you didn't go to school, you either have someone who has gone to school and is struggling. You want someone in your life to have the opportunity to go to school, but they know that the struggle is real and that is keeping them from doing it. Like this could provide opportunities regardless if you're in school or have been to school or want someone to go to school. So I think this is a good little ride to, good little wagon to ride out on. As far if I was Elizabeth Warren, I keep this energy because if she finds a way to put some more people behind it and really can explain these numbers.
I've already said I think I totally think if she rides free college tuition, reparations.
Did she say something about reparations? Where's her reparations argument?
She has said that. No, actually, if I remember correctly, she said,
"Hey, we can get a twofer if she wipe all the people who owe reparations debt, wipe all our debt off, not 50,000 all up.
You just
you good?
You get your twofer."
I'm not being funny when I say this, but I think if she does those two, I think she wins the minority, not just the black vote. I think she wins the minority, the brown vote. I think she wins the majority of the black vote, just on those two alone. Because you have to, if you're going to, the only counter that conservative has to that is to play on the heartstrings of the conservative religious person who now has to choose between, do I vote against somebody? Because I think she's also pro-choice, I believe. So you have to then, now is the abortion issue. So do I vote for Elizabeth Warren, who gonna wipe my student loans, or do I vote for the person who don't care about my student loans, but I'm signing up for I don't believe in abortion? So I think that's really gonna be a hot issue. That issue is strong enough to possibly counter people who don't want to vote for somebody who is a pro-choice person.
Now they got student loans.
Right. If they got student loans. You talking about, wait a minute, you gonna wipe out $50,000 of my student loans?
That pro-choice ain't gonna worry nobody who got.
If that's the case, pro-choice ain't something else.
They ain't worried about abortion with that $57,000 come knocking.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you we're gonna pray for them. That's what they're gonna tell you. We're gonna pray. We're gonna have a prayer line. We're gonna be our student loans. As many pastors that got up and talked about God going to eliminate your debt, y'all better, yes. Somebody trust me. Somebody
every time.
It's gonna hurt. Some people it's gonna hurt the conservative vote. So, all right, next story, and then we got to move on. Yes, I know. She over there chomping at the bit.
I ain't said nothing. I was like, I just looked at that little bottom right.
So Netflix and Disney have threatened to pull out of making movies in the state of Georgia because of their, as they call, draconian abortion restrictions. And so producers, so this article is saying that they actually feel like that a boycott by Netflix and Disney would actually help Georgia because when you do, in order to lure producers of movies and televisions shows to film in Georgia, they give them a 20% tax credit if they spend $500,000 or more on production or post-production. The article says that they also earn an additional 10% in tax break by including a Georgia Film Commission logo on approved projects, along with a link to exploregeorgia.org/film on the project's website. So, but the article says that giving Hollywood a helping hand isn't cheap. The state doled out $800 million in tax credits to movie and television productions in 2017, which is the latest data available. That's roughly a 10-fold increase from 2009, which was the first year that those incentives were in place. They said over the last decade, Georgia has spent more than $4 billion in tax credits to Hollywood. And so the article is saying that they actually think that, again, that this actually might be a good thing if they're able to do that, because they're saying that, of course, by filming there, they get more jobs, but even the loss of those jobs, or having those jobs, does not cover the amount of tax credit income that that the states are having to give out. So I thought that was pretty interesting. What are y'all thoughts over that?
So I wonder first about Tyler Perry's studio. Mm-hmm. What is we gonna do, Tyler? Mm-hmm. I want to know how he falls in this. And then my next thought on this was the people who are for this law don't give a damn about what Hollywood is feeling. They don't want them sending Hollywooders in their state in the first place. They say good riddance. Let the good, let the door hit you or the good Lord split you is how they feel about it. Gone. And I wonder, since Oklahoma is so excited about all of the movies coming here, I don't want them to get too excited, because if folks is pulling camp that fast, I need them to check the news headlines, because Oklahoma does not rank high in the liberal sense of the world. So I don't know why everybody's trying to pull up here and make movies. It sounds good, because I think I just saw an article today about that. But if this is how Hollywood is rocking, you really have to think that's not going to hurt these states. These states that are making these types of laws don't care about what the average Hollywood person, the average, they don't care. That's not their target. They got their target audience down. Like, they know who their is, and they go right for their target. And Hollywood ain't it. They say go.
Yeah. Kel?
I mean, with so much money and resources that flow through Hollywood, I think that this is more of a statement. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they're writing this article saying it might actually help Georgia's bottom line, like, I wouldn't even known that if they wouldn't have, like, who knew? Who knew about taxes and all that kind of stuff? We just thought it's cool when people come and film in different, we like to know what location they film at. So I want to say on the fence, but I'm just thinking that it's more of a statement than anything else. I don't know who just really rocking with Disney and Netflix like that. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Who gangster with Disney Netflix? But hey.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it matters, and I know the states matter. Again, it comes down to tax revenue, from income taxes to property taxes to all of that. So, to taxes when you go to the grocery store, like every tax, if you don't make any money, if people don't have money, they can't get taxed. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I think I understand why they do that, but I don't know. I'm with you. I think that Georgia being a red state, with the exception of like Atlanta, and it's difficult to see how this plays out in Atlanta. I think Tyler Perry it would hurt Tyler Perry because he's still gonna film there, but the other people who use his studios to film there, if they don't go, what does that do to his career? So I mean, it would definitely it would have an impact. I don't know how much. I think right now Atlanta is the black mecca of
they're doing something different as far as
so, and a lot of independent things like that. So I don't know if it would affect that. Independent producers and movie, people who are doing movies there. Now, like you said, the big ones, who knows? Netflix, and I feel like Netflix has enough problems with Disney right now, so I don't even really.
Right. Rush Limbaugh was mad about this. Did you hear this? Did you see that little clip about Rush Limbaugh? He was hot. Yeah. Children are Disney's main target, and they're essentially saying we're leaving because you're protecting our target. I looked at that screen. I said, "What?"
You kind of can't really.
What? I said the kids that they supposedly protected don't know Disney from nothing. Like, what are you talking about?
You just gotta look at him and shake your head.
Yeah, I just said, "Okay, Rush."
We're not gonna do that, but it's just gonna make people go to other means. People was getting back alley abortions.
Yeah,
I didn't get into that.
Yeah. But you're right though.
So.
Yep. All right, that's it for news for tonight. Of course, news is brought to you by the 2019 Level Up Conference, which is going to be held August 9th, 10th, and 11th. We want you to join us as we show you how to level up in the areas of faith, family, and finance. All you got to do is to get registered is go to the website at www.levelupchicago.com. We look forward to seeing you. We look forward to meeting those who we have not met, and we look forward to being a part of your level up. So go to the website and register today, August 9th, 10th, and 11th in Chicago, www.levelupchicago.com. All right, this first song is by my dude, Rasheen. So this is his latest song out.
Yeah.
You know I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I know he did. I know he does a little man chuckle every time he catch you by
y'all can say that. But Rasheem latest song, and if you have not gotten his latest song, Cuban Links, go to iTunes, any of your digital outlets, and download it now. This is Cuban Links by Rasheem.
Things and things.
Yeah. Try to get to the money, right? Shit. Woo. Woo. Hey. Shit. Check out my Cuban links. Check out my Cuban links. I got a bunch of green. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Check out my Cuban links. I got a bunch of green. Diamonds across the rings. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. I got a bunch of green. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. Diamonds across the rings. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Yeah, touch it down in Cuba. My clothes that are tumor. Got thick chicks for food. Pockets bigger than a tumor. Eating with the shark. Load the clips with the arm. Pull it off in the bar. 80 racks with the cars. Come through like I'm setting off. Nigga make up on the bands off. Top dog when I'm taking off. Too many hoes can't say them all. Money breathe like a gas. Big head like a glass. Presidential when I pass through. These niggas better be careful. I'm all about my paper. Dollar bills, nigga, can't see me 20 acres. Hate to see me put a rest of shit. Sitting down at the oval. Fitting spoons with the mobile. Home right around nose. 100 mil be the fold. Check out my Cuban links. Check out my Cuban links. I got a bunch of green. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Check out my Cuban links. I got a bunch of green. Diamonds across the rings. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. I got a bunch of green. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. Diamonds across the rings. I'm playing up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. Getting ready, getting ready. Break it up. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. Getting ready, getting ready. Fuck it, fuck it. Wait, diving to the Cuban links. Don't give a fuck what you want to. Getting money ain't new to me. Couple commas in the jewelry. Ride around with boys and shit. So high they take a load of coast. Good breakers make it 4 in the morning. Touch down like a positive coast. Going in with the toes behind me. All of my niggas about this shit. Can't tell what time it is. Rolex walk TikTok. And I don't fuck with two faces. The sweet talking bitches are friends. Break go fuck everybody. Man, clip got one in the time. I'm too hot, I'm too old. Can't stop to be just over. Fuck me, I'm bossed up. And a layer in my styrofoam. Running shit, gotta run the bricks. Let it run the rip right doing shit. Pull up quick, then hop back. Do 100 racks for some money. Check out my Cuban links. Check out my Cuban links. I got a bunch of green. I'm blaming up nigga in the fucking ring. Check out my Cuban links. I got a bunch of green. Diamonds across the rings. I'm blaming up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. I got a bunch of green. I'm blaming up nigga in the fucking ring. Break it up, break it up. Break it up, break it up. Diamonds across the rings. I'm blaming up nigga in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it. Yes, that was our good friend. So, Big B.
Yes, yes.
This brings us to our next segment, which is the hot topic. Yeah, I know, like to keep it hot up here. Our hot topic comes from one of our regulars, Miss Halima. She may be on the live now. Shout out to Halima.
Hey, girl.
Serious question. When did people start getting so weak? What generation, decade, anything? When did people, men and women, start having less work ethics and stop believing in hard work? It doesn't matter the ethnicity, but does anyone know when it began to be more than less as far as work ethic goes? Kind of a loaded question. I know we can all, because all of us work or have worked and probably been in leadership roles. So I'll go with Q first. What do you think? What was your response to that question? If you responded, or what do you think?
I did. I responded later on today, and I put that I think the overnight sensation generation is what has snatched our work ethic. We came up primarily without social media. It was my probably junior, maybe senior year. We were still AOLing. We was dialing up still. So like we did not have any of what our kids have as far as internet is concerned. Like real time. I'm not the only one that was AOLing it, okay? So we didn't have that overnight sensation that a lot of people get, where you can literally get rich overnight. Well, not necessarily overnight, but it seems like overnight from your bedroom, not going to school, not clocking in, not being responsible, not having to follow rules and, the things that we were taught as children and that we are proud of now as adults. I've been working since I was like legally working since I was 15, but I've been in my family's business since I was like 9 or 10 years old, and that was like, we had shifts and a schedule and we knew that was just the thing that we did. So kids these days get pissed off to do dishes and take out trash and, fold laundry and things like that. And I also think in a way, we as parents, in our effort to give our kids what we didn't have and not be as strict as our parents were, because, we were just so oppressed getting out of school. We had it so hard. When we started having kids and some of us younger, still in that mindset and not really knowing what life was yet, gave our kids too much too soon. To the point when they become 10, 11, 12 years old and you try and put in them what it looks like to work, they're like, Mama, right. Yeah. What are you talking about? So, we have to own that as well. We do have to own our part in that, but I think the internet has way more to do with this than a lot of the other stuff we putting on it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned about chores and stuff because I just started thinking, and I'm just thinking about how many people I know that complain or even some of my nieces and nephews that don't know how to clean.
Yeah.
Good. It's a few of them that don't know how to do nothing. And you like, how do you get through life? You gotta know how to clean the bathroom up right. Yeah. I mean, I've heard stories like one of my good friends talking about a chick he was dating and reached into the couch and pulled out some bologna. Like, what?
How? Oh.
People, they really, to the point to where how can you even want to live like that? You think just living, you would know how to be clean and stuff. People don't even know how to do the basic things. So you mentioned work. They don't even know how to wipe their butt good.
Yeah. Work is just out of too much.
Work is something totally different. Whipper rolling his eyes, so I know you got.
I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because I'm thinking, I can go home and make sure I got bologna in my couch.
See.
I mean, this is, I can even think. I kept saying maybe kids. Kids do anything if they got children and things like that. But it was old bologna. I said, okay. That means you ain't even check. You got kids. You ain't even check this stuff.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like when I had my puppy, I knew to check up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff. So yeah, people just really don't have all the way around, and we have to blame. Well, I'm not gonna give my opinion just yet. I'm gonna read a couple of comments here. The first comment said it may have started with the late '90s babies. Like, I know what decade it was
specifically.
He said, and it is getting worse the younger they are. The next comment made me think a little bit. It says older generations didn't internalize as much.
Yeah, they probably internalize more.
Yeah, let me keep reading. He says a lot of strict parenting was abuse.
I agree.
Let's see.
It was some of it was.
But he just said in hindsight, hindsight or 2020, but you don't know how being raised different would have made you a different person. So I think he's more getting into that. Even though they're being raised strictly, it still doesn't mean that they were raised correctly, and I'm just paraphrasing for
Agree with that.
Lack of a better term, but my personal opinion before I go to Win was more of a not necessarily a being spoiled part, but mine was more of not being taught pride. That's kind of the soapbox I like to get on, is that if you have pride about yourself and you care about yourself, it's not necessarily caring about what other people think, but do you want to be your best self? Like everything I do is a competition. Everything. I need to beat my time. I need to get a better score. I need to dress better. I need to do this better. So if you don't have that pride for yourself, then your work, like I don't want my work is a reflection of me. So I don't want nobody to say my work wasn't right.
Yep.
So still on a parenting, kind of line of the reasoning, but I just think a different way. Just even if you're teaching chores and things, if you don't teach them that their chores make a difference on how it look, like, if you don't have that mama coming through saying, this ain't good enough, things like that. Like you just don't have pride in what you're doing. So they definitely wouldn't have a work ethic. What do you think, Win, before we go into some more comments from the post?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like I agree that I think some of what we were raised to do was abusive, and I don't think it was intended to be abusive, but I think for having a child, I also understand that sometimes those I would consider abusive ways are like the only thing that lets the kid to listen to, and so it can be very difficult at times to, like, in the moment, to realize that what I'm about to do can have a long-term effect.
Yeah.
So the question, when did we get like that? I think we got like that when we decided that we wanted to be in our culture, in the African American community. I think it started when we decided that we didn't want to strictly stick to the ways that our parents raised us. And I would say not my generation, but like my parents' generation were the ones that kind of started it. And then I think we kind of took it to another level because most of us were not as many of us, let me say this, were raised in community, and not as many of us were raised in close proximity. So we were raised or spread out from our family. So our grandmother, like my grandmother, didn't live down the street from us, but previous generations, your grandmother could live with you or down the street, or the neighbors could whoop you, And now I think we moved from that community type of raising kids, that village mentality, which I think started with my parents' generation. I think they started it. And then we kind of just took it to a different level, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what year it was, but.
Very good point. And that leads to another comment on the post that says the idea that younger generations are weaker is also indicative of what older generations have set them up with. We still push college no matter healthcare is crazy expensive. Minimum wage is no longer a living wage. Reliability of products is low as hell, and the family unit in some cases is very disjointed.
I don't even understand that comment, but okay. I don't think those two have anything to do with anything. But okay. I mean, I'm saying I don't understand it. I would love who said that, because I'd love to.
That was Norman.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I think he's still explaining the line of like what the older generation has done.
And I get that, but I'm still trying to understand, what does college and all that stuff have to do with it?
He's just saying examples of what older generations are still teaching, even though we know that's not the right way. I mean, that's how I'm interpreting it.
We'll follow up offline.
We'll follow up. The next comment says that's biblical. That's from Ms. Chan, and she's saying about weaker generations, so that we knew this was going to happen because it's biblical. Another comment from Don says, I think that it kind of started changing when folks started noticing that big business don't care anything about you. This job that I have now is the first job in many years that everyone busts their booties to get their jobs done. The owners and higher ups seem to care about folks. And that's another point
to do with it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And another point that we didn't really talk about is that people don't take jobs seriously because they think it's just, they're just working for the man or some unknown entity that they don't care because they don't.
Yeah. The buy-in is different. I agree with you on that. Because now it's cool to have a business, to be doing your dream, to be living your dream, following your passion, all of those things. And I think our generation is putting that in to our children, mainly because we're the generation that has gone to school, got the debt, working hard at the careers, getting laid off, and they're seeing the effects of that. They're watching their parents, their aunts, their uncles struggle after only knowing how to do that one thing and still having nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? So that is changing. That's one of those do as I say, not as I do type thing. You can't do that. The kids are watching what's happening when they follow that path, and then look at you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the companies, we're watching what corporate America is doing. We're watching what the industries are doing. More jobs are going automated. More of the niche jobs and businesses are growing and blowing up. You know what I mean? The big box companies are afraid of the little guy now. So they're not going to college. They're not longevity in a company. They're doing one and dones. You know what I'm saying? A year. They're coming through the door to get to the next door, and out. Like
now,
so.
And I wanted to stop you right there because when you said about college, and the thought came to me. I don't know when we were talking about something before, but college is another way. I know with the money issue and things like that, that people don't want to necessarily preach college, but you learn a lot in college. College is another experience. If you have the opportunity to experience the full college experience, like living in the dorm, staying on campus, away from your parents, but still with some kind of structure and rules. I mean, it really teaches you a whole bunch, and definitely teaches you a lot about work ethic.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't remember. I mean, a lot of folks get jobs with just any kind of degree because they know, at least if you have that degree, that you completed something, or they know that you went to college and you had to follow some structure and you stayed with it for 4 years, that kind of thing. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's a point that I think we just forget because we down college so much now that we forget that that's one of the best attributes of.
Yeah. We let the after drown out what we actually gained from the experience, because now I'm in debt. I'm not working in the field that I went to all them schools for, all that school for, forget school, like those are the kitchen table conversations that you're having. And like what Tay just said, college isn't for everyone, but we can, I think sometimes if it wasn't for us, those conversations that we have with our children can sometimes stunt the possibility of it being for them because our kids are still very impressionable at that age. So you want to say this was my experience, but this is also what I did to aid and abet in this experience and why it may not have worked out. But we have to be honest with our kids. You know what I mean? We really have to be honest. I got too many loans. I didn't manage my money right. I didn't set anything. You know what I mean? Like tell them that. And if you want to do college, this is how you do it. You don't end up like we do. We have to be that honest. We can't be perfect and then say, but look at me now. You know what I mean? Like we can't have a sob story, but then say we did everything right. Like those two things don't match.
Right. Before we wrap up, I did want to read this last comment. Let's see. By Mr. Dre Dowdy, also another friend of the show. He says, of course, we're generalizing and all, but I see students tougher than ever before. They deal with bullying 24/7 versus when we were kids. We get bullied at school and could escape it by going home. We also didn't have cameras that would capture our worst moments forever, unless you had a Polaroid. But I see them stronger than the previous generation. And I did want to read that comment just to before we wrapped it up because I thought that was a good point. Because there are some. I mean, we know there's some younger people that are killing it, and they do have to grow up a little faster or tackle things all day. Yeah, he's right about that. We may have gotten bullied, but we didn't really have to.
Totally different.
24/7. I mean, that's social media bullying is something else. I can imagine dealing with that. as a child. So, good point, Dre.
Very good point.
I think these kind of generalizations, sometimes it hurts our conversation. But at least when we start having these conversations, we can kind of see the good and the bad. Just like with Dre coming in and saying, "Hey, yeah, they may be weaker, and some of them may be weaker, but think about this: some that are probably stronger than what we would have been."
I wonder. What I hope is which I'm sure will happen, is that what we call weak would force companies and organizations to start looking at their employees as more than just numbers and widgets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because again, I've been in several meetings where companies are saying, "How do we get people to stay? Like, how do we get losing people? How do we get these millennials to stay and want to come to work?" So I think what that part of what we would consider weak is a good thing. But I do also understand Halima's point in terms of, it's a lot of lazy folk out there. It's a lot of,
Their value system is different. The millennial value system is totally different than what our value system is.
And it's not all bad. I mean, it's really not.
No. A lot of us are courageous than we are. They're going for that, what makes them happy all over instead of what's checking boxes. And I
mean, we grew up. I remember we grew up saying stuff like, well, when I was in corporate America, saying stuff like, "You got to do what you got to do and hope they give you a raise." Well, they like, "Nah, give me the raise and then I'll do." Actually, right. It's just the way that we were taught is, that they had to work hard and hope that they'll see you. Whereas they're saying, "No, they already see me. Now pay me, and then I can do this other." So
and I'll be happy to do my job.
I'm not upset at them for feeling like that, because I think that they're right.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, just in a nutshell, like we like to say, I mean, it really is. It's just not taught. I mean, it's just not something that's high up on the priority list anymore, as far as the actual work ethic itself.
Yeah,
it's taught to follow your dream. If you have your dream job, do that good. But if I'm working somewhere for a paycheck, you know what I mean. So it's not with this idea of having a work ethic about every little thing you do, from chores to this position.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Really top.
But I think, like you said, that's something we've got to model. You said at the beginning, you got that was something you saw modeled, and so that's where it comes from. I think we as adults have to model that. Like, excellence is not just what you do when you get to the dream job. It's something that you take in every area of your life. And if you put yourself in a position where you just understand that excellence is your default, that's the default level that you work at, then it's going to help you in every area. So I think that's really the takeaway. I think that's the takeaway, is we got to do a better job of doing that.
Make excellence your default. That's a hashtag right there.
Right. Excellence is your default. Yeah.
Come on, preacher. Yes.
Right. That'll preach. We are out of time in our overtime. So I want to remind y'all that the Hot Topic is brought to you by Curvy Kitten Clothing. You can get yours at www.curvykittens.com. Reminding you that Curvy Kitten is more than a clothing line. It's a movement. We're celebrating that if women love to learn their curves, that's the foundation for loving each other. So that brings us to our next song, which is Slow Jams by CL Production.
I feel a body roll coming on.
Groove with us one time.
You know you're everything. I'ma give you everything. Nobody with you, girl. When I'm with you. This for all of my girls. This for all of my girls. Big down south. Best girls in the world. This for all of my ladies. All of my high class babies. Modest out in public. In the crib X-rated. This for all of my cougars. Ain't scared of the scandal. Half of your we give you more than you can handle. Hit that from behind and have a rambling back like that. Dripping down the stick, we call it candle wax. If listen you is wrong, then girl, I can't get right. Get me life. If you a crime, I guess I'm back to right place. Bad, she got looks to kill. Waist slim, ass murder. Still your girl. Call me handicap burglar. give me cane, cause I'm in that whispering who's it is.
Are you there? Lady, what I You got to
We can do it all night, baby. Or maybe I just make it tap out. I'm one great, yeah. See, I'm a fool with the gang. They bring a friend and maybe we can do the switch thing. Got no one night stands, that's too short. And baby got that fire cherry like Newport. I think tonight was made for us. I work out and now I'm sweating like a street. Yeah, I'm on. She drunk with her hard liquor. She keep it hyped up, throw it back like flea flickers. Yeah, I'm candy cane, wanna taste, girl, do it. See you later, so she can get right to it. Hey, let's all on her back with a nice rack on top of that. Hey, GB is a G-spot, next stop in my mouth. Headed down south, big cable below the waist. Throw her back out, boom like an 808.
Are you there? Lady, what I
Yeah. When I'm with you, yeah.
All right. That was Slow Jams by CL Productions. Got a little dirty wine and body roll on for the one time. Appreciate y'all for jamming with us. It is now time for our main topic for tonight's show, and it is brought to you by Elegance by Design, where healthy hair and skin is our priority and a beautiful you is our specialty. You can purchase your all-natural hair and skincare products at elegancebydesign.com, and that's Elegance by Design, design with a Z.com. And I encourage you to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, like that nice little ad that you see there, and subscribes for all kinds of new content that I am producing. And
Whoops. That was me.
and we're back. All right. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic. So, we are going to talk about how long are we going to pretend we don't know what our partners need. We have seen endless posts asking the hypothetical questions that plague relationships all over the world, Craig. We talk about submission. What does submission mean? What does it mean to be submitted? What does it take to be submission to submissive? What does a submissive woman look like? Ladies, what does intimacy mean? Tell me what you mean. Like, give me examples of what you mean when you say you want more intimacy. Like, we have all of these, like, it is endless. And I just use those two subjects because we hear about them all the time. But y'all know the subjects that I'm talking about. The things that basic yin and yang of needs that we have as men and women. But these are the things that we have no problems doing in the beginning, when we're in trouble, in devastation, and in high moments of frustration. We have no moments of in desperate time. We know what to do. We know what stops to pull, what outfit to wear, what hairstyle to throw on, what meal to cook, what time to show up, what flowers to sit. We know. But in the midst of, before we have to get to these extreme places, before we'll tune in and say, you know what? I see you. You're right. I got you. You know what I mean? And just get it together. So tonight we're talking about why we keep shucking and jiving around just loving each other the right way. What are we doing, y'all? That's what we're talking about tonight. So now that I did that little preface, I'm going to go on and hand it to Kels because she got the finger wag going and lets me know she's ready. So go on and tell us this, what we got.
I think one of the answers is because we have all been taught that God protects babies and fools, so everybody want to play the fool. What's his name? Norville. What's his name? The song "Everybody."
Aaron Neville. Yep.
Aaron Neville. Yeah.
That brother was right. I think there's some truth to that because I think it gives us a cushion. You know what I'm saying? To say, okay, well, I'll keep working on it. Oh, okay, well, I'll try that. You know what I'm saying? We'll never win. And then you get out this list of stuff you know you're not going to take action on because you don't really have no ain't what you're trying to do in the first place. And men and women alike, we all do this. Like I've seen it. We all do this. So this is not at all a conversation directed at any one gender because we are equal offenders of this particular situation. Wynn, what's your thoughts?
I think it boils down to not wanting to be vulnerable. And so I think part of it is we don't want to be vulnerable. So we go into relationship holding back sometimes the best parts of us or the parts that we think are that we think that are going to leave us in a position where if the other person takes advantage of us that we're going to look stupid.
Yeah.
And we hold back. I think the other part of it is that we're just lazy. As if there's a level of laziness to us that we don't want to do the work. We don't want to do the work that it takes because we feel like we shouldn't have to, or we feel like I don't know, but we just don't. We just get really lazy, thinking that almost like the other person should just be happy that they're in a relationship with us, and so we don't have to, on a daily basis, put our best, give them our best. So I think we just get lazy.
Yeah.
And I think that's across the board in relationships. We get men and women, we get lazy, we self-protect, we decide that, we're going to do what we want to do and not do, if it's uncomfortable or it causes any strain or stress on my life, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to give me a extenuating circumstance to make myself uncomfortable that way.
Yeah.
Even if it gives you comfort, then it gets switched. Well, why would you want me to ever feel this level of because we ask that, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't good at that. Or, I ain't never seen no woman ever make a man play. Like, my mama didn't make her man play. My grandmama didn't make my granddaddy play. Like, that. Those kinds. Girl, if you don't go in there and make that damn play. Like, you know what I mean? Those are the types of things, when we say, but you want that man to go to work and come home and provide all the money to make the groceries so that you can make the plate. And you want to, you know what I mean? So that, like, those gives and takes don't come into play until it's you the one that needs to take and someone needs to give. So I think there's a laziness factor and then we have a selfishness factor because we want everyone to give the care for us. But when it's time to share the care, it's like, oh, wait. No, you didn't. But you didn't still fill me up.
I think a lot of people that same respect. I think a lot of people, I don't know why, but people we like people to feel sorry for us. I don't know why we like pity parties.
Yeah.
So if you say I don't know long enough, you go,
I know pity parties. We like pity parties because pity parties means that we don't have to take accountability or be responsible for our individual choices and our individual what we say or what we do. So it's easy to play the victim and want people to, to look at us and say, oh, look at you.
You.
Yeah, because then I don't have to say the reason my relationship failed is because of me. My relationships aren't right because I'm not right, because I'm irresponsible, because I refuse to be blah, blah, X, Y, and Z. So we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that at all. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard and it's uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good initially. But I mean, I said it earlier. I'm gonna say it again. The reason why I'll add to it, the reason why most of us are single, or the reason why most people don't stay in relationships is because we are selfish. And relationships require a level of selflessness that most people never want to experience, because selflessness hurts. Selflessness that requires you to go through seasons where you're not filled up, as you just said. Then require seasons where you don't get what you want, and people really don't want to do that. They think that relationships are about making them feel good all the time.
And sometimes, and you what you said right then, it's not about getting what you want. And sometimes it's even about not always getting what you feel you may need. And that's something I think that people, as soon as they, and because we don't know, we don't always know how to communicate our need, we run or get frustrated fast because we just magically think our person is supposed to know us that well, not recognizing that you have not said what you need. So now you're walking around with resentment and an idea of lack and something that they didn't even know that you needed. So when I say in a relationship, you still have to deal with the level of not getting what you need, that's a learning curve in a way. So that's not saying you should ever just be all cool with, oh, well, I'm not getting what I need. That's the season right now. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. But if there is a season that you find yourself in where you're not getting what you need, I think you have to stop really and kind of assess, have I communicated this well? Or am I hitting roadblocks? Am I stopping the progress that I know that I need because I'm not communicating it? If I'm sitting here, we've been silent for 3 days, somebody needs to say something. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be a perfect time to break the silence, that uncomfortable silence for 2 or 3 days. But you know you need something so that you can feel comfortable again to have your day-to-day regular conversation. You know what I mean? So like you're making a choice. Regardless of which side you choose, you are choosing either to engage and participate in your relationship or to disengage and be a part of the disintegration of your relationship. Mm-hmm. And the excuses, the pity parties, I don't know, you cannot know. Nobody's ever mad for not knowing. It's not seeking out the how, the why, you know what I mean? The steps to get better at it, I think is where it gets the most frustrating. Would y'all agree with that? Like, nobody's ever saying you can't not know. It's just knowing you're just not doing the thing.
Well, I think it's deeper than that. That shouldn't be your go-to. You know something.
Yeah.
As an adult. You know something.
Tell them. Yeah.
Well, you don't know. So come on now. You can't be oblivious to everything in a relationship.
I agree. But I think you should be able, if you don't know something, I think you should be able to say you don't know. And to be willing and open to the help.
Yes. Say, show me.
So
yes.
If I don't know how to do something, I should be, and I understand. And the reason we don't do this, let me preface by saying this, especially I'm gonna speak from a man's point of view, is a lot of times the things that we don't know are things that, first of all, sometimes we don't know that we don't know, but then once we do realize we don't know, it becomes embarrassing to say I don't know. And so, as a man who does at times struggle with in certain aspects of asking for help, you don't know how to ask for help. You don't know how to say that. But sometimes you have to put on your big boy briefs and say, look, I don't know. I don't get this. I don't understand this. This is foreign to me. What you're saying you need makes absolutely no sense to me. And I'm not saying you're wrong for wanting this, but I'm saying I get it. I don't get that. And it's okay to say that as a man. But at the same time, I think, again, you know, you got to say it. Yeah, I'll stop there.
I think Tay on the live, she made a good point about attention too. I think so. It is attention. Go right along hand in hand with that pity party is, if I keep saying I don't know long enough, then all the attention is on me and what I do.
And it sounds like an excuse at some point.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does. Alyssa has a very good question, actually. She says, I agree we get lazy, but why can't we remember that getting into a new relationship, when we lose this one, takes work too? Yeah, I think that's just about, I get what Tay said, it's about attention. Like, I think when you're new, like, it's easier to do certain things because it is new and you haven't done them. And so I think that, I think that we lose creativity, that, you know, we start doing the same thing over and over again in every area. And so it becomes just very monotonous, and we just don't remain creative. And I think that's hard.
Yeah, because in the new stage, you ask all the questions. You know what I mean? You remember all the little things because you don't know. You know, after you find out the favorite colors, the hopes, the dreams, what they used to write about when they was little bitty, those types of things, like, okay.
Not me. I go in telling you, I'm going to forget most of what you tell me. I'm just going to tell you that up front. I'm old. I'm old.
Yeah. Okay, so Win says don't count on the memory. But you get kind of what I'm saying though. Like those basic check boxes, you have an understanding. There's some understanding you can get in the realm. If she told you her favorite color, you go to the store. If she said it was blue, you look at a pink, blue, and purple. Blue might stand out a little bit more, like she might have mentioned blue. You know what I mean? Like it's in there somewhere. So as you get later on into the relationship, those things, that newness wears off, that inquisitive feeling in a way wears off, and unless you grow through something together where now you sit and look at each other and say, we need to, hey you, like, hey, how you doing, and realize, we made some adjustments and we can reconnect after we've done this new thing, then that kind of gives a natural spark. But other than that, aside from those types of transitions in a relationship, you have to take it, that you have to be diligent, like you have to be aware of, okay, we in that little spot, we need to figure out, let's do something new. Let's find something that neither of us have ever done before. Just go out and try it. No experience. Let's just go do it. So we can do something and create some new questions, new something to spark it. Because those are like basics that we overlook because we make relationships harder than they need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, and I, as much as I love relationships and the way that they work, and how different people respond to different things, I really, really think at the core of it, once you found your person, relax in a lot of ways. Because if you really stop thinking about what everybody else on the outside has to say, you can tune in to what your partner's going through. Would y'all agree with that? Would you say, like, if you stop thinking about how everyone else is thinking about your relationship, a lot of the times you can pick up on those things that are happening with your partner that you might be missing because you're too busy worried about, the post or what your homegirl said or the coworker said, or you know what I'm saying? Do you? Yeah.
I would agree. I do think you have to protect. I would say that protect who speaks into your relationship. Yeah, social media, it's friends, families, what you read. I think you have to be careful about that because everybody doesn't know your situation. And though the problem with that is that also you can't completely withdraw from everybody you're in a relationship, because then you do that, then now you leave yourself blind to certain things. So I think you do have to be careful, though. Very careful.
I think it's also a good, practice to be able to say, instead of saying I don't know and just leaving it at I didn't know that, I didn't know you needed this, I didn't know you needed that, and just saying, tell me what I can do to help this situation. Like if we had that frame of mind instead of just saying, and leaving it at that.
I agree, Kels. I would say too, to say, like, if you didn't do something, say it. I didn't do that because I thought you wanted this, or I thought that, I mean, at least then the other person understands, or even if it's wrong, there's at least the appearance of an effort.
Yeah. Or a thought even. I thought about it. And I didn't think that was something that
Yeah, I didn't think that was something you would like, so I didn't do that. But when I did this because I thought that would give you what you needed. Or I didn't do anything because I figured you didn't want this, so I didn't know what to do, so I didn't do that. I just stood there looking like a dummy.
I mean, I think even with that, but just falling back on I didn't know, like, to me, in the age of information.
Right.
I think we just have, it's time, we have to put that away. The whole I don't know, what my partner is thinking or what my significant other is feeling and things like that. It's time to just let that go. It's time to put that away. It's time to start saying, I don't know enough.
Yeah,
I would say I don't know enough rather than just I don't know. Yeah. Like that made me think about pledging a sorority. That's one of the things. That was one of the things we had. Our big sisters hated. That's one of the things we had to learn. Don't ever say you don't know, because you can always find out something. Let me get back to you on that. I mean, like for 9 weeks, 4 days, probably 18 hours is about 6 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are excuses?
Right. Excuses are significant enough.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think just being more cognizant of our relationships, and I mean, we've mentioned that. Q, you might have mentioned it last week. Just how we treat our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we. I think if we put them in more of a high regard, then we would. The same thing with work ethic or anything else. You would just do better. You wouldn't even want to just leave your partner with I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So listen,
we have to prioritize it.
If you don't know, did you at least know to ask? Sometimes you do.
Right.
I think it just depends on what it is. I think I do think that I agree with, there's a level of laziness. Again, Hugh, you're saying relationships are easy, and I think they're easy in general. I think it's the details that can get hard.
No, I don't. No. I don't think. I don't think relationships harder. Let me say. I think we make them much harder than they need to be. I think we don't do our necessary pre-work to make sure that the after work feels worth it. So we will get out faster because we did not do the right work on the front end. So now that we get in the thick of it, that if you were in a compatible relationship, you could get through whatever this regular thing that you're going through is. But you are with the wrong person because you didn't do your pre-work. So I guess that I didn't explain that enough, trying to condense. But yes, we don't do enough of the real stuff to figure out if the person that we say we want to be in the relationship is the right person in the first place. It's just he's available, she's available, she liked me a little bit. I want to get into bed, so we go together. You know what I'm saying? And then when we really have to go through together, we have an issue because I just thought you were cute. And
let me push back a little bit. Isn't that so? You're saying isn't that the point of dating though? To kind of see how we respond to.
It's the point of dating. It's not the point of moving in, smashing, changing, doing all that extra, being connected in every other way, and then be like, well, you was in the midst of it, and you just look, Facebook got me messed up. You just half-assed it. And that's the last word I'm gonna say on that. But you gotta own it. You know what I'm saying? You have to own your responsibility.
So yeah. Now we're gonna be able to run no ads. Thank you, Q.
I know, I'm sorry. We done messed up all night. From the music to the commentary, we done messed up.
Guys, please share this video. Facebook because it's our language tonight.
We don't say it.
Please share.
Yeah.
You don't say it. Boo.
Did that make y'all want to share?
We get a little crying curvy kitten. We got to get a crying curvy kitten. I'm gonna get on Maya to get us a crying curvy kitten we can play with. We need our sympathy shares. When the combo gets too real, we need the crying curvy kitten to save us from the share. Oh my God. We are a mess. But hey, the convo was real. So you're gonna want to share it because it was real. But so, yeah, I think go ahead, Win. I see you ready with a thought. Go for it.
Go ahead. No, go.
Well, no, I was just pretty much gonna say that the whole I don't know and the ignorance to the basic let me serve you. How can I love you better? Because that's really the root of it, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's really the root of it. If you are saying this is my person, I'm rocking with you. I want to wake up next to you. Eventually, if we're just dating, I might want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to make the time that we spend together the most enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? For both of us. And I think when you get outside of what it looks like, what it feels like to all the others, what am I checking the boxes that my boys think I need to be checking? Does he align with the rest of the men that my homegirls is dating? Can we take cute group date pics and all that kind of stuff? Like, get to the nitty gritty of the thing that you need and then work on those things. I think we could stop asking so many questions. We wouldn't keep going to Facebook to ask, what does intimacy mean when we would go to our partner and ask that? Or what does submission mean? Baby, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable when I leave? You know what I'm saying? Those kind of when I want to take control of a situation, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable? Those are the conversations you ask your whole woman, not your whole friends list. You know, they don't know.
Even still, though, that should still be okay. It's okay to put it on Facebook, but hey, would you log off? Ask your partner too.
Yeah,
agreed. Instead of it being fruitless, if you're gonna get to a Facebook fight, you might as well use the advice that you get on it.
Good advice, please.
How about use that energy somewhere?
Half of the stuff is not good. You know, like you got to weed between the people who try to actually sell the product versus the people who actually have some wisdom. And it seems like, and I'm not going to go on this tangent, but it seems like people who have long-term relationships are the hardest people to get to talk about relationships. And I don't know if that means something or not, but I mean, it is very, like you ask somebody who made 30 years and they'd be like, we just didn't quit. Like, I need a little. I'm like, man, I'm certainly a little more than that. We just hold on to God's unchanging hand. Like, I get that. But, like, how do I deal with it? So in this scenario, I'm just supposed to hold on. Just okay, all right. Well, you know, so
now, you might get them in the corner to say it, but you're not gonna get them in a group to say it because they're embarrassed. They done told everybody it was too perfect too long. So now you can't. I cannot begin to tell you how we struggled because it's been perfect.
Yeah, but I do think some of the ones in the older relationships, at least like with my parents, like my mom, for instance, some things she'll engage in, but some stuff should be like, baby, y'all just making it too big of a deal. Like that, we would never have had that conversation because it's not that big a deal to us. Yeah. We got bigger fish to fry. So I think some of it, especially if they're older, and you have young people that have been in long-term relationships that probably are like, I'm not.
They're the ones trying to start.
Some of the older ones are really just some stuff just really wasn't that important to them because they were raised that same way. I didn't know anything else. Yeah. We know too much.
They were raised not.
We know too much and don't know nothing.
Yeah.
We know too much and don't know nothing at the same time.
Too bad. Too. That's a sad situation.
Yeah. We're gonna pray for us.
Yes, we are. Oh, and we are right on time because who is not gonna have Mother Maybelline fussing at me? This girl. Right. Okay. So at 9:30 on the dot, I'm gonna ask y'all how do you feel, and we're gonna have Novi Tide tell us what he thinks about it. That is our next song for the night. And How Do You Feel by Novi Tide.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm thinking of you, wishing we was on the same page. But you were showing me the real you, so I let you run at your pace. Now that I'm gone, you care. And I don't care that I'm gone. I don't care if I'm wrong. Every time I try to grow your mind, girl, put you on game. You ain't listen to a word, back to the truth thing I had to say. But you gon' learn today. You gon' read in my mind. That I make my day. How do you feel now that I'm gone? Yeah, you alone. You alone. How do you feel? Knowing you lost me, or feel without knowing you should never me. How do you feel? Oh, how do you feel? Yeah. Oh, you had to let go. You said you had to let go. You were stuck in your way, I know. And you said I would miss you. It's funny how the tables turn. Now you out in your feelings. Now you crying and you miss me. You like now cry me a river. I put your heart felt in a love letter. Now you know better, you can grow better. Hate I had to change with the cold weather. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You so stubborn, oh yeah. Now you miss my presence, you get the message. Reminiscing got you crying, got you stressing so bad. Ooh, if you want my love. How do you feel now that I'm gone? Now you alone and you can do what you want. How do you feel knowing you lost me? For real when I died, knowing you should never cross me. How do you feel now that I'm gone? Now you alone and you can do what you want. How do you feel knowing you lost me? For real when I died, knowing you should never cross me. How do you feel? Oh yeah. Oh. How do you feel? Oh yeah, you feel. Oh yeah. How do you feel?
All right. That was How Do You Feel by Novi Tide. Y'all have heard that jam before. That is one of our favorites.
How do you feel?
Now that I'm
Right.
So it is Tasha? Is she ready to rock and roll? My bad. Mother Maybelline.
That's it.
Was Mother performing somewhere else tonight?
Mm-hmm.
She running late.
Oh, yeah. She might still be signing autographs and giving hugs and kisses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on.
We gotta call Mother.
Right. Where you at?
Mother Maybelline is on stage.
Somebody go live at ICE so we can have Mother Maybelline tell us what's really good.
Hello?
Mother?
How's it going, Bishop?
I'm well, ma'am. You're on the Scoop Radio show, Mother.
Oh, Sugar, is it my name?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just playing. I was saying, Bishop, I thought you was calling me for one of the pecan pie. I said, yes, Bishop, I'll bring another one on Sunday morning. How y'all doing tonight at Scoop Radio show at Scoop Nation?
Doing good.
What's going on? Listen, mother is on this phone tonight. I sure wanted to see y'all. You know, I'm trying to get out on this mission. I got a word tonight. I'm trying to take it up to the Heights Event Center. I know y'all familiar with that place now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they make some fish almost as good as I do. Almost. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Listen, Q, how you doing tonight, girl?
I'm good, Sugar. I am doing well. We've had a really fun show tonight, so I'm in a happy place.
You said what, baby girl?
I said it's been a fun night, so we're in our happy place tonight.
Yeah, good introductions. I'm thinking on the Kings of Comedy. I can't remember who it was that said, can't nobody introduce you like Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
You kind of like, ain't nobody introduced Mother Maybelline, child. I'm just letting you know, I know you're doing your own thing, but you know, if Tyler Taylor called me, girl, I might need you to come on the road and just introduce me everywhere.
Girl, book the ticket. I'm ready.
and bring some of that elegant by design.
Yes, ma'am. In the bag.
And where's Cal at? Child, wait a minute. The Strong J, honey, I saw her all on the catwalk, all on Facebook last week at America's Next Top Model. I said, is it Tyra Bates or is it Tyra Johnson? Who is it, child? Girl, wait a minute. She is the healthy living. You done changed it to a healthy lifestyle. You know, it really ain't about your physical or just about your health. A healthy lifestyle, girl. And came out there, honey, all old and cocoa butter down. We saw them legs, girl. I was saying, what's going on now, Gabby Kid?
Thank you, Mother. I am to please.
you are welcome. You need to make a T-shirt that says "rawr," with a little kitten girl. You was rolling, honey.
I was You said I was roaring, mother.
Mother said is glad to be on here tonight. Let me tell y'all something. What it was on my mind today, y'all. Now I'm a little older than y'all, so I don't know if you remember any movies from like the 80s, but there was a movie of a young man, and it seemed kind of like just a comedy, but it was really a good message. And he was a black boy that thought he was Bruce Lee. Y'all remember The Last Dragon?
Yes, that's my movie. Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, who's the master?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what's crazy, y'all. Sometimes you can just think about the most random thing. And I was driving, just really, and I have to tell y'all another day, just had a really great breakthrough today. But anyway, I was driving and I heard that song all of a sudden. You are the last dragon. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You remember when? Now listen, we was little. You was little singing that song, but the words that the words of that little gimmicky song said, "You are the last dragon, and you possess the power of it all." Girl, if I didn't get about the last dragon, I wish I had a scripture to give y'all. Come on with me to Throwback Movie Tuesday. Okay, that's the scripture, 3rd chapter, 12th verse. Because baby, that's the word. You are the last dragon. I thought, so often we out here counting ourselves out. You know how sometimes you defeat yourself before you even go to the race? Just say, well, I'm not going to do that because it probably ain't going to work, and I don't know if I can. Tonight I really wanted to encourage somebody that you kind of might be teetering that line a little bit. Not really sure if you can, not really sure if you can. It's kind of like, Leroy in The Last Dragon, you really possess the power from within already. You just got to kind of like dust the light bulb off and maybe make sure it's twisted in all the way. Does that make sense, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
The only time we really worried about the glow nowadays is if we doing a video, you ain't got that little circular light ring. We care about the lighting in our pictures. We care about the lighting and everything else. But that glow is already there. We got to nurture that thing. Got to nurture that thing. Get rid of the things that aren't nurturing that. It's just not, I think you're saying this often. Love and light. There's something to be said about that. And I don't mean that kind of love where, Tommy done cheated on you with Mary Jane the other day, so you put the tires on flat. That ain't really love. I don't mean that kind of love. I mean the kind of love that'll stimulate you to grow. That'll motivate you. That'll really get you in a position, and I mean agape love. So I don't mean that romantic kind. I mean the love that you have for your neighbor or for a friend or somebody that's in need. That glow comes from within as we pour out into others. We got to start pouring out. We pouring out a whole lot of stuff. I know y'all see it all the time. Now, if you're surrounded in a circle that is positive and uplifting and doing that love, and like you can feel, you're complaining and saying, "Oh, it's so negative and all this negativity." Baby, you're in the wrong circle. You're in the wrong circle because if you're in the right circle that's leveling up, y'all notice the change of flood in Chicago this August. If you put it in that's leveling up, you don't really recognize a lot of it because guess what? You're too busy leveling up. It's like a pilot taking a plane. The pilot ain't distracted by the birds and every cloud he's had. He's trying to reach a certain level of elevation. You feel? Can you dig it? Young people, is that what y'all say? Can you dig it?
Yeah. Sure can.
That was the reason why he elevated because he knows he got to focus on getting to that certain height. That's what you got to do, Leroy. You got to focus on the point that you're trying to elevate to and keep your eyes on that. And stop looking at the other things. The scenery don't matter there. The scenery you want to see is when you get to the elevation point. So see, tonight Mother didn't really have a whole lot of laughing and joking. I really felt like it's a few folk out there that might be on the airwaves like just kind of sitting on that line, trying to figure out. I'm going to say, you can do it. You possess the power of them all. If you don't go onto your Netflix and go look at The Last Dragon, you're gonna start walking around here with a little Bruce Lee nunchucks and everything too, honey. Like he convinced himself that he was a expert. Little old soft boy from the hood. I hope that it is a little different, but I think it's needed. I think it's very, very much needed. We gotta get off of this thing of defeating ourselves before we even try. We gotta get off this thing of putting up roadblocks that are not even really there. We're building them ourselves. It's not other people putting them there. So remember that you have that power from within. And at this very moment, honey, I know I got this serious point blank and elevate. And anybody that is listening, you want to elevate, come on out to Chicago. Mother Baby ain't gonna be there. We all gonna be there because we're trying to level up in our finances, our family, our businesses, all of that. So come on out and get surrounded by like minds, honey. Get away from Ray and them got you on the street corner acting up. Got your ass doing weird stuff, So I love y'all. I do. And y'all continue doing what you're doing and know that you possess the power. It's already here.
Amen.
Yes, Mother, did you already perform at ICE?
No, I have not yet, baby. I done just actually pulled up. I'm going to go in here and see what it's looking like. Well, didn't you win some dominoes up here one time, Pam?
Yes, the only female champion amongst the domino champions.
I'm thinking about coming in here myself tonight and maybe getting on some dominoes.
Go on, Mama.
They wouldn't know what to do, Mother, coming in here killing. Oh, child, and look, I forgot my walker. Somebody gonna have to carry me in here, child.
After the way you talked about Mark, I'm sure he'll carry you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, gonna make an old lady get up on that stage. I'll say, well, I'll say. I'll say. Yeah, he did tell me, though. He said, I'm going to get you, mother. You know that, don't you? I know you out there, but I'm going to always win. Old school always win. You can't avoid it.
All right, mother.
Y'all go on and enjoy your night. I appreciate and love y'all, and I look forward to being in your presence again.
Definitely.
Ma'am, you have a good evening.
Brother.
All right. Good night, y'all. Bye-bye.
Good night. All right, Mother Maybelline.
Always a pleasure.
And sending good vibes for a good show.
Yes.
Yep. All right. I guess it's time to wrap up, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Jill, you up first.
Well, I had a very good show as always. I love it when we have our freestyling moments and we get into, y'all know we'll get into a topic in, honey.
Right.
We'll freestyle that thing because all our thoughts get to coming out. So I enjoy when we do that. I feel like we got to do that tonight. So yeah, thank you to our viewers, our regulars. Shout out to our regulars. I'm going to dance at y'all weddings. Shout out to you. Want to wish you a very happy and blessed week. Make sure you do something productive. And we will see you next Tuesday.
All right.
Curvy Kids coming?
Huh?
Anything coming up for Curvy Kids?
Curvy Kids, as you all know, we had our fashion show a couple weeks ago, so we have some new products launched and ready to be ordered. We'll have some pre-order sales going up here in the next couple of days. Working on a little promo video coming from the fashion show. So we got some things coming. Y'all be on the lookout. I will be in Kansas this weekend, so I'm a bless Kansas, my hometown, with some things. So y'all be ready.
You selling this green thing?
Yes, the jumper.
How much is that?
That is $50.
Let me know when it go on sale. All right.
I got you. We're doing a pre-order sale here.
I'm kidding.
You need to get out. You got some women in your life that need one or two. Right.
All right. So I'm assuming it's my turn now.
Yes, go ahead.
And I came prepared this week. So last week I told you guys.
Oh shoot! Sorry. This is what happened when you try to be fancy.
Okay, so I'm back again. And so last week I told you guys about a new sexy service project that Elegance. Okay, I see. The Elegance by Design has launched, where I have began creating all natural wigs, like this beauty you see right here. When I say all natural, I mean all natural styled wigs. So the style is not going to be your lace fronts with the straight and all that extra. They're going to be pretty light, fun, free wigs like this. They are hand sewn. I made these. And I'm going to be donating these to women who have hair and scalp issues, who are having confidence issues, like all kinds of things that I'm going to choose based on your nominations for gifting these wigs. I have been given a very awesome, generous donation from one of my supporters that has allowed me to be able to create, I think I'm up to 4 now. I have enough for 4 wigs. So I just need some lovely queens to crown. So if you would please submit your nominations to info@elegancebydesign.com. That is info@elegancebydesign.com. So we can help choose a home for this awesome lady right here. I'm going to have my baby draw a face on this wig head so that we can finally give some personality to my girl right here, because you're going to be seeing a lot of her so we can get these wigs to happy homes. That's all I got. Yep. All right, Win. Yeah, I was going to say, I've run out of my spiel now.
It takes a second for it to come on. All right.
Yeah.
I'll come and be patient. All right. What do I have? So a couple of things, of course. If you have not registered for the Level Up Conference, please do so today again. This is the conference of the year, especially if you are in the Midwest and you are looking for an opportunity to expand your business, to grow your business, to connect with like-minded individuals, to expand just the network or the reach of what you're trying to do. So we're talking faith, family, and finance, again, at the 2019 Level Up Conference in Chicago. Go to the website and see what we have to offer you. Payment plans are no longer available. So keep an eye out. And I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. A little birdie told me something coming, but you want to get registered. So get registered ASAP for the 2019 Level Up Conference at www.levelupchicago.com. Also, if you are looking to advertise your want your business or your product to get seen by more people than it's ever been seen before, you've had an opportunity to see the show tonight. We want to advertise your business on our radio show. So as you can see throughout the program, there are several opportunities for us to advertise. So we want to put your business in front of our listeners, our viewers, where you can expand. You can expand your reach, where you can grow your business, where you can we want to help you bring more profit to your bottom line. So if you have any questions, reach out to myself or email us at globaldriveradio@gmail.com. And we'll give you all of I'll give you all the information that you need. Also, I don't have a thing for this, but I'll come to that next. Hold on. Be patient, young man. Be patient. Next, also I have, where to go? Want to play your music. So if you are an artist, an independent artist of any genre, it's not what I wanted. If you are an independent artist of any genre, then we want to play your music. So what that means is I need you to email your music, the MP3 version of your music, plus any artwork, to us at globaldriveradio@gmail.com. And just like the 3-4 songs that you heard tonight, your song will be one of them. Plus, we will put your information out across our social media platforms. So again, another opportunity for you to get your information out. Can I fuss for a second since I got 7 minutes? Yes, yes, you can, Winfrey Burns. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Here is one thing I don't understand about us. Listen, if somebody offered me, and I'll bring Kelly and Q on for this so they can fuss with me. If somebody offered me an opportunity for free advertising on my video, on my music, or on anything, I'm not turning it down. Mm-mm. So how is it that you are an artist and now I will say the advertising on the show is not free, but you're a music. But even then, the cost of that is very fair. So, I mean, not that. Anyway, see us, and we'll get you.
Yep. You say I'm listening to you. You say you want the likes. You say you want the shares. Nobody supports. Get it here. We want to support you. We want to share. We want to get you out there. Yep. Y'all see us grooving to our oldies but goodies, our favorite songs. You want us to sing your words, know your songs, have body rolls to your rhythmic sound? Send us the sounds. Send the songs, Anime. Send them.
You want us to cry baby to your stuff?
Is that what that's called?
Yes.
Is that really what it's called?
It is really what it's called.
Yeah, we just gotta come on. We gotta again, music, same thing. Again, if you're looking to advertise, same thing. I mean, again, this is not. We're not that we're do this to help small business owners. So if you're a small business owner, you definitely should be advertising with us. So
yeah.
Off soapbox. The Word on Wednesday is going to continue tomorrow. So tune in at 7:00. Pastor Burns is going to continue with Word on Wednesday. So make sure you are locked in for that. Other than that, I ain't got nothing else. Thank you to all of the people who tuned in tonight. Thank you to all of those who commented. As always, we love the comments. So please continue to do so. Thank you for everybody who shared. If you have not hit the share button for the show, please do that as well. We certainly appreciate you. Other than that, y'all have a good rest of your week. We'll be back next week with another great show. So be back next Tuesday again. Share, comment. Tell us your thoughts. We're okay with you disagreeing with us. So if you disagree with us, we're okay with it. So definitely do that. All right. Have a good rest of your night. Y'all have a good rest of your week. Kels Q, I love y'all, mother. I love you. Appreciate you for everything that you do. And we will continue to change your generation by raising the conversation. Y'all have a good night. Have a great week. Get registered. Tune in tomorrow. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Y'all can jam with us.
You don't even want love. Tell me when you're in love. If you could just give it, I should just spend it. Why are you standing here? First you say you're with me, and then you try to tease me. So I try to keep it low when you knock me to the floor, cause I don't want to tease. Would you believe this love is forever gone? And would you take this long, sweet road and pull it together? Baby, if this is goodbye, I want to try. You just can't get through. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? Cause I'm not sure. Baby, I treat you right. Just give me one more shot. If this is goodbye. If this is goodbye. I think you want new love. You tell me what to do now. If you could just give me what you told me, then I feel versus me. And then you trying to keep me. So I try to keep it low. Would you please? And would you take this long, sweet road and pull it You just can't get me so. You see it all in my eyes. Baby, I treat you right. Loving you on my shine. This is the eye. This is goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.